Hello, and welcome to this session that is intended to cover the essentials of Van's Visual Suite. My name is Byron Best, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to present this overview to you and invite any questions that you might have at the end of the session. I will first by comparing this to the traditional Vans that you see in the character base. And I've got both icons on desktop here so that you can see both of them. This is the character base icon, and then this is the Vans Visual Suite. So the Visual Suite that I'm going to go into today, and some comparisons here. So log in as myself, and my particular login is considered an administrator login, so it gives me full access to all menu options. When you have your individual users, your first option is to set them up as administrator, and so of course I'll have access to everything. If you use, however, to their access, it's very easy to do so. It's actually even easier to do than I think it was in the character base. What I'm seeing here is the full offering in the Vans Visual Suite. If you click on each item, you'll notice that the additional options for that particular processing section come up to the right. And into basic divisions, this is the essential menu that you're going to be going to. Which menu, you'll have options for transactions, which are your daily type processing. Those that you do periodically, get maintenance, which are things that you don't do very often but do need to occasionally, such as setting up or modifying vendors, setting up or modifying customers, etc. Inputs, which are essentially just looking at data that's already on the system, then has been updated, and reports. Kind of a basic overview here of an order, process event order through the system. Begins with order entry. Now, you have the option of order entry directly on the menu, but if you go into any of the submenus, such as moving and storage, you'll see that you also have order entry. Order processing, you also have access to order entry. Accountable, you also have access. The same in character base, but just wanted to point that out to you here. Entry, and I, of course, will not be going through in really dramatic detail here, but I do want you to see the differences. Up an order in order entry, whether I'm adding one or looking one up. This is the essential order entry screen. You know multiple tabs across the top of the order entry screen, and those just take you into additional pieces of information that you may want to enter about the order. Then, when you're looking up an order, I'm going to right-click here. You have the ability to look it up by any of the same fields that you did in character base, but it saves your preference so that if you typically look up by a shipper, and anytime I go into order entry, it will assume I'm looking up by shipper unless I change the different type of lookup. The about this is if you're looking up a shipper by name and you type in part of the name and press F2, which is what I like to do, it puts all of the shippers' names that begin with the character string TEST. Then I have, and I'll just size a little bit for you. Once I have a listing of all of those shippers that begin with TEST, it shows me the reference number, order number, the customer they've been assigned to if a customer, whether online order or moving and storage order, and the date they were actually put into the system. So it kind of gives me an idea. Table then, I can also then sort by clicking on the top select that you see in bold, actually scan down through these if I can find the order that I'm looking for me by the day it was put into the system. Or sort by shipper's name. I may by all the customers listed together. So it'll pull information about the shipper. Another thing that you'll also see is whether or not it's a van line or moving and storage related order. You'll also see that down here in the authority. And thus I'll be able to see the type of shipment, the authority, branch that has booked the shipment, and in this case I have 3 different branches. I locate the source of the shipment. So I want to do a report by the source. Here I have the date I put it into the system. You see its order number that I'll be billing under here in DM. It should be billing. This is a van line shipment, so typically your van line order number here. You're going to be billing this to a customer. You have access to your customer database. You also can indicate the salesperson and the customer service rep that you're assigning it to, if indeed that's what you want to do. Each service can be used by drop-down, or if it's still in the current month, you can also type in the date. And I tab through the fields rather than using my point at those fields. If you do indeed fill in the address, then you'll be able to pull up that address in the mapping of the numbers, and something that is unique to VS, and that is the email address of the shipper. That can be used in multiple number of ways through other processes in the system, such as automatic emailing of letters or documents to the shipper, the input of that email address. Wants any information for destination. You can also, of course, put things on will advise, and maybe this is moving to Dallas, Texas. Don't know this yet. These, of course, can be very important because they also work the mapping. Tabs, you may want to save the order. Say you have, and then if you do want to map anything about origin or destination, when you see this icon, you can click on Map, and it will pop out to the mapping device of your choice. Mine happens to be Google Maps. I don't have a correct address on there. It probably won't come up correctly. Yeah, it's having to get that. It's 393, so I had the wrong zip code. Pull up my origin. From origin to destination as an app, you can click up here on the Get Directions, and it will pull it up. Now, if I'm looking at directions, it's just going to pull it up from the International Boulevard, and it's going to send it to Dallas, Texas. I really know specifically an address in Dallas to pull up. I apologize for the speed. I'm also, of course, on a wireless internet connection here, as well as going through the WebEx product. But you can kind of see the mapping as you're probably used to seeing. You see here across the top relate to billing information, such as information about who I'm billing it to. Miscellaneous information, where I can put in additional information about the tariff, the contract, the pay type, the estimated charges for transportation, maybe even the estimated total charges. Online information that you may want to put in, or that may come down from line if you have the VanLine interface for order registration. And from this screen, the ability to go in and print a variety of